mindset with everybody, and how you think that that plays into what you want to do tonight, the second game.
Yeah, it's a lot of because of better. Quite frankly, controllable things that if you're going to compete and try to win a game, you got to do these little things, execution pieces in our system that we do well enough, and cost us the victory. But there was plenty of positives. We led most of the game. Just let us slip away with their small lineup late, and things we can correct.
Little unique that you played three of the preseason, you played Golden State and Phoenix twice apiece. And I know different lineups, different guys, but is that any informative at all as you now see these guys that you're pretty familiar with?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a great familiarity with Phoenix, not just because of the preseason, but because we played them in the playoffs last year, and they're familiar with us as well. Although we're different in some ways, it's still Ron AD though. So it's just who's going to execute, who's going to do things better.
Is there one thing that you focus on defensively with Chris Paul and the way that they run the screen roll and just the way that he runs the game in general?
Yeah, you just got to mix your pitches the best you can. Obviously there's certain things we want to do with him that are easier said than done. In terms of preventing him to get in certain spots. But we got to do it at a high level if we're going to win.
Frank, you going with the same starting group, and is Ayton sort of the reason for that, or what's your thinking?
Yeah, well, they present a lot of problems. They really do with their defense with DeAndre anchoring the middle, tempts you to play a smaller lineup to pull him away from the basket. But the guy shot 80% against us in the playoffs last year. So having another big out there on the defensive side of the ball, there's some value in that. So that's where we're going to start the same way we started the other night.
Frank, you talked about Kendrick Nunn yesterday. And just wondered, with that news, how much does that affect this early portion of the season for what you had thought what your rotation was going to be, and just the type of player that Kendrick is and why you guys targeted him? Does it put you behind the eight ball at all in terms of trying to get everything together?
Well, Kendrick's a hell of a player, and we did have him penciled in as a rotational guy before camp started. Obviously, you feel it out. Once camp gets going, he can really score the ball. He can play off the ball, and I love the idea of him playing off of Russ and LeBron and what he's going to be able to do on the second side. So it's a big loss for us. But so is Talon, so is Trevor. We had those guys penciled in as rotational guys too. So the good thing is we have plenty of guys that I trust on this team. The guys that are in the rotation open night and tonight. Our guys I believe in and feel like we have enough to get the job done for sure.
Hey, Frank. LeBron and AD obviously had really good games last game, but a lot of their offense was coming on jump shots and not at the rim the way we're kind of accustomed to seeing them score. Are there different things that you saw in film that you can kind of create better looks for them or kind of declog some of the congestion in the paint?
Yeah, well, they're shooting the ball extremely well over the top. Teams are going to attempt to load up their defense in the paint on us. So we have to beat teams over the top with this year's squad. And but obviously, we want to get more rim attempts. We had 17 attempts at the rim. That's not enough. But we had 62 paint touches. So we are getting there. But playing extra pass basketball, and a lot of times that results in a perimeter shot. I was more concerned with just taking too many early contested ones. Those are the ones I'm disappointed in. But those guys, have a green light, with their fadeaways, and they're so elite. In those shots, those guys have a green light with that, of course.
Last one is going to go Dan, Bill, and Alan.
Frank, obviously you guys weren't healthy for all of that series against Phoenix, but were there things that the Suns were able to do successfully that impacted the way you guys approached this offseason, both in terms of personnel and maybe some of the schematic changes that you guys made?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if what they did in the playoffs really impacted the team that Rob put together. I think it was just about, how can we build the best team, not a team to beat a single opponent. But they actually obviously played a great season last year. I think Phoenix was terrific all year long. They didn't get enough credit for who they were. It was no surprise to me to see them go to the finals. After they beat us, we knew it was going to be a tough out with us being shorthanded, and it was going to be a tough out even if we weren't shorthanded. You know, they're a great team. So 2 wins away from a championship. So they have the same team back this year, and you know, it's going to be a challenge to beat them tonight.
Frank, I know it wasn't probably a surprise for those 4 guys who were on the top 75 list yesterday, but how did it hit you? Just, you know, obviously, you know, you've got an incredible collection of talent here, but to think that 4 of the 75 greatest players in NBA history are on this roster. And then beyond that, along the other side of the coin, I'd say Dwight was a guy who a lot of people thought might make that list. What was your reaction to him not making
Well,
it?
he should for sure be on the list. For sure. 3-time defensive player of the year, 11th, I think, all time in rebounds, going to be in the top 10 before the season ends. And, you know, I don't pay a lot of mind to these lists. You know, like there's going to be some great player like Klay Thompson on there. Seriously. You know, there's going to be some great players that don't get in there. If you put those 2 guys in, you know, then there's going to be somebody from the top 75 that did get in. Those guys deserve it too. So, you know, but it is pretty surreal to have, you know, 4 of those guys on the same team. And, you know, it's exciting about, you know, just to give us confidence in what we can accomplish this year.
Coach, can you take a lot away from that playoff series, or is it tough because there's 11 new guys on the roster? Is there a lot you take from last playoffs, or is it more difficult to do so?
Familiarity with them and an understanding of how good they are at what they do on both sides of the ball. Knowing that it's going to, you know, the margin for error is going to be very slim playing against these guys. In terms of us being different, again, you know, you have a small margin for error in a time where you're, you know, obviously going to be expecting an adjustment phase of our season. So, you know, we have to really tighten up the details and, you know, be good in all those areas for 48 minutes. We want to beat this team tonight.